We're the Plotaholics, a breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Plotaholics Live.
Heyo.
I almost said podcast because I say that pretty frequently as well. But welcome to another episode of the Plotaholics Live. I'm Shane Wilson. I'm joined as always by Super Tan.
Heyo. Or as my secret superhero identity, Brick Wall.
Oh yes, it's true. The brick wall is in the house. So there he is. Whoa! I don't even know who that is. My superhero identity obviously is the fancy living room.
Ah, there you go. Fancy living room, man.
Right. So anyway, Brian, big week last week.
Last
sort
week
of
was
a
a pretty big week, yeah.
yeah, sort of a big week this week. We've missed some stuff that I wanted to talk about. Sort of in hindsight, some things that were kind of sprung on us. But I'm trying to decide what the big story is, and I think I know what I want the big story to be. What our lead story is. But let's go with most recent news first. And this is the story that I saw drop just a little bit before we came on, and that is that they are developing a new live action series based on the children's book series Goosebumps.
Another one?
Yeah, so they're redeveloping. Well, they're developing a new live action series. Of course, there was a live action series back in the 90s for Goosebumps.
Goosebumps was awesome back in the day.
I love those books, and I had definitely everyone on the screen right there. I had so many, and it was interesting because Goosebumps was like one of those series that people collected, like almost like comic books, you know?
Yeah, R.L. Stine was so huge. Like, your childhood was the shit if R.L. Stine was in your kid library.
Oh, for sure. And he was all over my kid library. And I actually saw him speak a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he was at NC State for one of the literary festivals there.
Mm-hmm.
And he is such a funny dude. You know how he got his start? Was writing joke books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like those like just call and response, sort of like set up punchline joke books.
That is cool.
Yeah, that was how he got his start. And then he just kind of invented this whole genre, this like children's horror genre.
And what was crazy is that these books were so scary, but they weren't like in left field, that they weren't inappropriate for kids at all.
Yeah, and it's a really tough line to walk, to write horror for small children that is scary but isn't traumatizing.
Yeah, because I mean, Goosebumps did it amazing, and then we got Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was, although Are You Afraid of the Dark had some episodes that were kind of traumatizing.
Right? I'm like, as an adult, I'm like, how did that happen? How did they get that on Nickelodeon?
How did they make that past the censors? Well, I guess if you've already got like Ren and Stimpy on, you can't really draw a line after
everybody that tried to get something on Nickelodeon after Ren and Stimpy was just like, but Ren and Stimpy, and Nickelodeon's like, okay.
Oh, fine.
So I'm not sure exactly where it'll go, or I mean, it's the news just broke that they're developing it, so it's still a long ways off, but I'm always excited for an updated Goosebumps because the old series doesn't quite hold up.
It doesn't, and it's real. It's
some of them.
You can tell it's the 90s. You can tell it's from the 90s.
Yeah, like the Haunted Mask, I think is probably the best episode from that first run, and it's probably because that's one of my favorite books too.
Wasn't Jack Black in one of those?
Jack Black was in the movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was in the Goosebumps movie that came out a few years ago, and he was also in the sequel that was not nearly as good, but he wasn't in it as much. He was kind of He just maybe made like a little cameo at the
It
end.
was like, hey, we got Jack Black back.
Right. Yeah. He wasn't even in the promo material for the second one. That's how, he wasn't in it too much.
Wow.
The first Goosebumps was kind of fun, the movie, but the second one didn't quite get it done for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where just because it worked one time doesn't mean you need to have a sequel.
Yeah, because the premise was that all of the monsters he'd ever created had come to life. They'd all come out of this book, and which was a really cool concept, but it just didn't work twice.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, I was gonna make the comparison of a Triple X, but that didn't work. Period.
Right.
It was horrible.
You mean Xander Cage?
Yeah. Not
the
other Triple X.
Isn't it interesting how we get on runs where we mention the same sort of pop culture, like deep cut pop culture stuff, like over and over and over again? Like, how many weeks in a row did we talk about how Mr. Deeds changed the future of the company with just one share?
Yeah, it's funny, but it makes so much sense. It's so relevant.
And so now, because we talked about Xander Cage on the podcast this week, and now that's our second Xander Cage reference.
Yeah. I'm wondering what's going to be the third one. I hope to tell you the truth, though. I'd like there not to be a third one because I really would like to forget that I watched any of those movies.
That's fair.
The only good thing about the first movie was the soundtrack, and that's it.
Before we get too far into this thing, make sure that you hit the like and the share. Push us out to everybody that you know. It's just something to do on a Tuesday,
Yeah, come on. Why not? Hey, if you're running for mayor, we'd vote for you.
That's right. And hang out. Let us know that you're in the comments. Say hi and be a part of the conversation with us. I wanted to focus mostly on sort of uplifting, happy stuff this week.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for that because I've been kind of bitchy the last couple of days.
Yeah, and one thing that put me in a really good mood this week was finding out that the Mission Impossible sequels had been delayed.
Yeah, here's hoping that they get delayed even further, to never come out again.
Yeah. How many Mission Impossible movies does one need?
I think we're up to like 12 now. Like, how many impossible missions?
How many impossible missions do you have to complete before they're no longer classified as impossible?
Yeah, obviously they're possible if you keep doing them.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like as a franchise, Mission Impossible does not understand its title.
No, it does not. Now, here's the thing. I liked the first Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the theaters to go see it. I was really on my Tom Cruise train. Yeah. And I wanted to see him do another action film. I was all about it. And then they came out with the sequel, and I'm like, okay.
They've been making those movies for damn near 30 years, haven't they?
Yeah, it's at least 20 to 25, man. I mean, because you keep in mind the original Mission Impossible, it had to have been at least 23 years. Because I was able to go see the movie by myself with my buddies.
It came out in 1996, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, so I was 17. So, yeah, they've been doing these movies a lot.
I saw the first Mission Impossible as a double feature at a drive-in theater.
Oh, Shane at the drive-in.
I was a child, so don't get too excited. But I will say the second feature, like Mission Impossible was actually the second feature.
What was the first?
The first was Twister.
Nice. Although, wait a second, isn't there a scene in Twister where they're at a drive-in and the tornado comes?
Yeah.
I do not want to watch that at the drive-in.
That was like the best scene to watch at the drive-in.
Dude, Twister is an awesome film. I think I'm going to watch that again tonight.
Twister is excellent. Yeah, we should do a whole natural disaster month on
we have so many months planned. We have so many months planned, but we really do. Because we could do Volcano, we could do Twister, we could do...
Oh, you got to do Armageddon.
Okay, okay. Or
Deep Impact.
Okay, we could do Armageddon. We could do that. I mean, I thought we were talking like natural disasters, like that could actually happen.
I mean, Armageddon could actually happen.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to be able to do the Roadrunner thrust move.
No, and then we could also do what is the Contagion?
Contagion, yeah.
That's a very relevant movie.
That's a very relevant movie. Shout out to Katrina Johnson, and she's right. Mission Impossible 1 was all we needed. We didn't need anything else. And have you watched the first Mission Impossible recently?
No.
So dated.
I remember, it is one of those movies that gave us an often parodied moment when he's like lifted like through on the wires. That is in every spy movie parody ever.
It's in every movie, period. There's like some bits where it's just like, oh my God, I'm about to trip and fall.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just like the what was it Entrapment where Catherine Zeta-Jones was sliding onto the lasers?
Yes. and then we got that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where the diamond thieves were having all the really cool ways to do backflips and stuff through the lasers.
Yeah.
And then one farted and set off the alarm.
Well, and speaking of Jack Black, they also did that bit in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Yes, they did. Oh man, Mission Impossible. We only needed one of you, but I mean, hey,
we only needed one.
But you've given us so much. I don't remember what else, but you gave us
only you gave us a shit ton of other Mission Impossible movies.
Unfortunately, oh, you know what else it gave us? It gave us shitty Superman CGI in Justice League.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was either Mission Impossible or it was some movie where Henry Cavill refused to shave his mustache.
Oh yeah,
so
I mean, that definitely happened in Justice League.
Yeah, so and I think it was because of Mission Impossible. It was either Mission Impossible or it was a James Bond movie or something.
Oh really?
Yeah, but he wouldn't shave the mustache, so he just looked all freaky with the weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about because he was in another movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought you were saying that the technology to unmustachify Henry Cavill had been developed in Mission Impossible.
Well,
I was like, wow.
Well, something had to be done to make us believe that John Voight was married to the hot chick.
Fair enough. This week, Brian, one of your favorite films had a little bit of a reunion.
Ooh.
And that is the Goonies.
Oh, Goonies, good enough for you. It's good enough. I love Goonies. I love Goonies so much.
So this is actually posted on Josh Gad's been doing kind of a weekly show as well on YouTube. And
everyone's stealing our thunder.
Right. And he got the cast of the Goonies together. Everybody was there, man. Steven Spielberg even showed up.
Nice. Well, I love the fact that we had Thanos there.
Yeah,
we have Thanos and Samwise Gamgee in one place.
Yeah, it's very cool. They did some reenactments of scenes from the film, and all of that is on YouTube. It's about a half hour long.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check that out because I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, but I'm definitely want to check that out. I'm glad that we got this. I don't want a sequel. I don't want a reboot. Leave Goonies alone.
Have you seen Outer Banks on Netflix?
No, I have not.
It's being touted as like the Goonies for a new age, which is fine. Like every generation needs their Goonie moment, you know?
Absolutely.
So I haven't watched it either. I've only the trailer definitely looks very Goonies-esque, and that's what I've heard. The reviews are decidedly mixed.
Are they Goonie-esque reviews?
They are.
Are they saying never say die?
They are saying that they say maybe say die.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe say die.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. If they reboot Goonies, like an actual reboot, or if they do a sequel, I am just going to lose my temper.
How could they do? I guess the only way to really do a sequel would be to have the OGs back as the parents.
Yeah, they're having kids pretty damn late. I mean, at this point, their kids would be Brandon's age. So that means they all would have had to be real late to have kids, or it's their grandkids.
What if the kids of the original Goonies take the role of the Fratellis in this version? And they're the bad guys.
That would be kind of cool. Chunk's kid is gonna be sloth.
Or maybe just maybe Corey Feldman could play Mama Fratelli in the remake.
I think Corey Feldman could. Well, I think if Corey Feldman started doing his music, he would definitely be the stop. Don't be mean to Corey. Shout out to Kelly Russell. Don't be mean to Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman is awesome.
Yeah, Kelly Russell is in the mix.
He wants us to do Armageddon. Oh man.
Yeah, I feel like eventually we'll have to get around to those disaster films. And in fact, I would argue that we should do double features. Volcano Dante's Peak double feature. And an Armageddon Deep Impact double feature.
That would be awesome.
And a Twister Sharknado double feature.
Well, because something like that could really happen. It could be a tornado near the water. and it could be sucking up all kinds of shocks and shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see some good news. Not to take John Krasinski's thunder, honestly, by saying that. But have you seen those?
No, I haven't. No.
He's also done a weekly news show called Some Good News.
Everyone is taking our shit.
It's fantastic. The first episode, you got to watch it. He had Steve Carell on, and they talked about the Office, which was
Jim and Michael reunion. I love it.
Yeah, it's the classic Jim and Michael mess around.
Golden Face and Michael Scarn together again.
That's right. We found out this week, Brian, that Fraggle Rock is getting an Apple TV reboot.
Bench cares away, worries for another day. Let the music play. Down to Fraggle Rock. I used to love Fraggle Rock when I was a kid, man.
I am on board with this, and I'm on board with the fact that Apple TV is allowing non-subscribers to watch it.
That is even better. I was just getting ready to say I might have to beg Sharon to let me get an Apple TV subscription just so when their season is over, I could just binge it all in one day for free. Yeah. But if they're going to allow me to watch it, down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a series of shorts. It's not like full-length episodes.
As long as Uncle Traveling Mac is still involved. That's all I care about.
5-minute Fraggle Rock episodes for free on Apple TV. I don't have to subscribe to Quibi. I don't have to.
Nice.
I don't have to subscribe to anything. So Fraggle Rock is.
I love
making
Fraggle Rock.
Comeback.
Fraggle Rock was so great.
Yeah, man. I feel like the people that really got shat on in Fraggle Rock were the Dozers.
Yeah, they're always eating their shit, man. Like, why are y'all eating? Man, I'm trying to build the city of tomorrow today, and y'all assholes keep eating my support beams. What in the actual hell?
The Dozers were definitely the essential employees.
They really were,
Fraggle
man.
Rock.
Man, them Dozers were awesome. Dude, them Dozers were awesome, man.
They were. They were the doers of Fraggle Rock for sure.
They truly were. I felt bad for Homeboy's dog because his dog kept trying to get after him. And he just kept missing out.
I love the dog. Yeah. I feel like I need to watch more Fraggle Rock.
I definitely want to go back because I remember watching Fraggle Rock as a
It's available somewhere, right? It was available.
It better be.
I think it was available at some point on Netflix or Hulu, but
if it's not, I'm writing an angry letter.
There you go. We'll get free Fraggle Rock.
Damn straight.
So yeah, the dog absolutely was in on it. He knew. He knew everything. I loved that dog.
It's on HBO. Okay, I actually had an argument with Sharon about getting HBO Max.
Oh, HBO Max is getting got over here.
She told me I didn't need it. I staunchly disagree.
Here's the thing about it. HBO Max is going to be everything that we hoped Disney Plus would be.
And Disney Plus is what I've been hoping for. It's just they got rid of butts, and I'm still upset by that.
I can't even get on board with that assessment because Disney Plus felt really good on paper, but then once you watched The Mandalorian, what else has there really been? Yeah, like
that's true. Disney Plus doesn't really have. No, what I'm excited for HBO Max is that we got like Cartoon Network, which means I can finally watch Space Goes Coast to Coast again. And Cartoon
HBO Max offerings are going to be unreal. I wish I still had the graphic that I'd put together for our Stream War segment of all of the stuff that's going to be available on HBO Max, but it's going to be wild.
Okay. Well, here's the cool thing is that from what I understand with the Peacock is that you can subscribe to it for free. It's just that you're going to have ads, which I'm cool with. I don't care about there being ads.
Yeah, that's what and there's going to be a pay version that gets rid of ads, sort of like what Hulu's done with their tiered system, but the NBC, the Peacock is going to be free with ads as their base package. So so I'll probably deal with that so I don't have to spend money on it and I can still enjoy it. And then, get the HBO and then that's it. I'm done. I don't need anything else. Yeah.
Because there's going to be so much on HBO Plus that it's just way worth it. It's funny. I realized part of the reason why my Prime bill is a little bit more. I forgot to cancel my Shudder subscription. Remember when we both got Shudder so we could watch Creep Show?
Right.
And it was supposed to be a trial. I totally forgot to end the trial. It's been bothering me for months. It's like, why is my Prime bill so high? Is there a subcharge?
Because what? It's like it's $5 more, right?
It's either $5 or $7 more.
I've got this graphic now. I was able to find it.
Nice. You're the man, Shane.
Let's see.
HBO Max will have butts, Mr. Russell.
HBO Max is going to have every butt.
They will have butts that we didn't even know existed. I even heard they're going to put
adding butts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be adding butts to the programming.
Yeah, here's the HBO Max lineup.
So we have all of Castle Rock Entertainment, all of Adult Swim, TBS, True TV, Hanna-Barbera, Turner Classic Movies, Turner something else or whatever, Boomerang, TNT, New Line Cinema, DC Studios, the CW, and I don't know what the hell Crunchyroll is, but it's making my fat ass hungry.
Crunchyroll, Brian, is the anime streaming service.
That's it. HBO Max. You know what? I'm using the man veto. HBO Max is going to be there.
Yeah, HBO Max is gonna win. Like, is gonna win.
Yeah, unless
that lineup is crazy, man.
Unless Disney Plus does something major.
Well, the problem I think with expecting that is that Disney Plus is now behind the 8 ball because they launched and they didn't have a ton of original programming ready to go.
Yeah, we're having to wait,
and now everything's delayed.
Right. So Disney really gambled. They gambled and lost.
Yeah, and when you look at everything that HBO Max is going to offer on day one,
dude, we're going to have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's right. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is going to be on there.
We're going to have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're going to have all the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, all the old Merry Melodies cartoons. I'm pretty sure we're going to have all the old Tom and Jerry's too. So we're going to have Tom and Jerry, Hanna-Barbera, Bugs Bunny and Company. We're going to have everything.
Yeah, and you're also getting all of the DC Studios content, all of your CW content,
which means that you're actually going to be able to cancel the DC streaming service because it's all going to be on HBO Max.
That's right, and all of the Adult Swim, which means all of your Rick and Morty, all of that
Boondocks.
stuff. HBO Max is also going to carry South Park.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which means I have to get it because if they take South Park off of Hulu for HBO Max, well, I need my South Park.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Flintstones will be on there. Jetsons. I mean, it's HBO Max, and then you're going to be able to get everything that you get from HBO, all of their stuff, which means that
and their back catalog.
Yeah, hey, you can binge Game of Thrones and just watch the regression of quality as they start leaving. I wonder if they
mention New Line Cinema.
Oh my God.
And the Warner Brothers back catalog, like that's not even here.
Huge. That is huge. You know what that means? That means that you're going to be able to do a binge of all of Nightmare on Elm Street if you don't have all the movies like I do. And you know what? Doesn't New Line own Friday the 13th as well now? I believe they do.
That sounds right.
So now you'll be able to binge all Friday the 13th, all Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh yeah, and I got to start. I've been told that I need to watch True Blood.
Yeah.
Anthony Russell says True Bloods. Yeah. We have to make sure we get the real Bloods. We don't want no set tripping over here.
Right.
But I've been told I need to watch True Blood. I need to watch True Blood.
Yeah. So HBO Max, and I know that this was not in our programming guide for today, but always fun to look back at the HBO Max stuff because it should be launching soon, honestly.
It's launching 1 month from yesterday.
All right. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm on top
excited.
of it. 1 month from yesterday. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'll be there for that. And
I'll be there.
Honestly, man, when I look at my billing statements every month and I see that I've paid for another month of Disney Plus and I've only watched another 30-minute chunk of a High School Musical to fall asleep.
Well, see, my Disney Plus is free for a year, so I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that.
I mean, it's still worth it. It's still worth it for what you're gonna. It's just that now it's gonna be, well, what am I going to be getting?
Right, and there's just not a lot there. Right, I mean, if you're not interested in watching the classics again, you know,
or binging Star Wars.
Now, the thing that's saving it right now is they're doing a lot of stuff straight to straight to Disney Plus that would have been in theaters. Like Onward was on there, which was good, and they're putting Rise of Skywalker on there on May 4th.
Right. All 9 Star Wars movies are going to be on there for the 4th of May. And so that means that every Star Wars film, full-length film, will be there, not to mention all of the animated stuff. So you'll be able to go crazy on Star Wars.
Now, Brian, I am woefully behind on the Clone Wars, but I'm dying to watch this new season.
I want to start over from the beginning on Clone Wars, and just because I have watched some of Clone Wars.
I'm still working my way through it, but man, we had the great Ahsoka Tano Darth Maul showdown this past week.
Oh, nice. I have to check that one out. I have to watch that. I'm still excited for Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka in The Mandalorian. I'm excited
about it too.
That's going to be amazing.
And the don't forget the Mandalorian featurette.
Yes,
May 4th.
Yeah, and
not even a featurette, actually, just a full miniseries on the making of.
Yeah, and they're already starting season 3 of The Mandalorian.
That's right, they're developing that. So,
which is awesome.
Very good, very good.
So I think Disney Plus. I think in 2021, Disney Plus will be able to start challenging a bit for HBO Max.
They'll be okay. I mean, they're not gonna tank, because every family with small children in the country still is going to have Disney Plus. Like, they don't need my $5 or whatever.
Right. Well, not only that, but you figure just for those of us that are 90s babies, we get to have our, 90s cartoon stuff, and
which is cool. But honestly, like, I've watched a little Darkwing Duck and a little Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and the best part of all of those shows is the first 30 seconds.
Pretty much, yeah. The theme song, the theme songs are better. But you know what? Well, like, here's the thing. All of the MCU movies are going to be on there by the summer, which is that's a nice little thing. But also, all 3 Mighty Ducks movies are going to be coming to there soon. So I'm pretty
all of those hardcore Mighty Ducks fans that have been holding out hope.
All millions of them. Hopefully enough people will resubscribe to Disney Plus so we can get Goldberg off of meth.
Right. By God, Johnson, it's working. We just got 3 new signups for Disney Plus today when we added Mighty Ducks 3.
Yes.
We captured the Mighty Ducks demographic.
Awesome. We get to see Abraham from The Walking Dead at 32 years old playing a high schooler. Yes.
Excellent. Love it. Brian, another bit of news this week that I assume will be very excited about is that Kevin Smith has used his time in quarantine to write a script for Mallrats 2.
Woo! Yes. Right, fat ass, right. That's what I say. That's what I say to myself.
Former fat ass.
Yeah, right. Former fat ass. I used to call him Lunchbox. Now I can't do it anymore. I'm so excited. Mallrats was my very first Kevin Smith film.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much. When I first watched Mallrats, I fell in love with the characters, the everything. This is the movie that made me love movies. And then I watched Chasing Amy, and then I watched Clerks, and I've been a fan of Kevin Smith ever since Mallrats. So the fact that there's going to be a sequel and he got this sequel finished has me so excited.
Now, where do you feel, or how do you feel about the criticisms of Kevin Smith's latter work? Do you feel that it's justified? Has he lost a step?
No. And I think that people need to leave Kevin Smith alone before I show up to their houses and poop on their front lawns.
Yeah, I haven't seen, well, I will say that Yoga Hosers didn't do it for me.
Yeah, Yoga Hosers I hated Yoga Hosers. I'm okay with the criticism of Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, that one didn't do it for me.
No,
otherwise, I've liked everything. I haven't seen the reboot, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I went to the theaters. I went for the screening of it. I got my poster for it. I got my T-shirts.
Yeah.
I loved the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It was absolutely amazing. I love all of his movies with the exception of Yoga Hosers.
Yeah.
Like, matter of fact,
how was Tusk?
It was all right. I mean, it was I watched it due to my loyalty to Kevin.
Was Tusk and Yoga Hoser set in the Viewisk universe?
No, those two aren't. Now, Tusk, Yoga Hosers, I believe, I can't remember the horror one that he did. That one isn't in the view. I think I don't even think that Jersey Girl's in the Viewisk universe. No, those ones aren't in the Viewisk universe.
Yeah. But yeah, very exciting stuff here. I just watched Mallrats not long ago, actually.
Mallrats is so great.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
It really is. And I'll tell you something right now. It's so 90s. It's so good.
This week, Brian, we also found out, well, a few things. We found out that South by Southwest will be doing an Amazon Prime virtual festival, which is very cool.
That is awesome.
Because the festival itself has obviously been canceled. As a result of that, we get the Judd Apatow Pete Davidson vehicle, the King of Staten Island, straight to video on demand, instead of postponing it anymore. Eventually, originally it was going to debut at one festival at Sundance maybe, and then it was going to debut at South by Southwest, and it just kept getting pushed off. So they're just like, well, we're just going to put it out on video on demand. Love Judd Apatow. Pete Davidson, I'm hot and cold on, but I'll give it a shot.
I'm not really a Judd Apatow guy anymore.
No,
just because, and it all stems from stuff on Twitter. Basically, Judd Apatow is, and I hope I'm getting my stuff right because there's so many people that I'm starting to dislike because I'm seeing their presence on Twitter. But he has been really, really sort of defending James Franco in his sexual assault allegations.
I gotcha.
But at the same time, he's trashing Michael Jackson, and he's trying to attack Michael Jackson's nephew, Taj, who was the executor of his estate and he ended up taking over as parental guardian of Michael's kids before they turned 18.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I haven't seen that stuff.
Yeah, so and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it's someone else, but Judd Apatow just seems like that's who I was.
It definitely seems like Judd Apatow would be the one defending
Mr. Franco.
And
here's my thing: it's like, look, I'm all for you backing up your buddies. I get it, you know what I mean? Because it's just like if somebody tried to say, "Well, Shane Wilson sexually assaulted someone," I'd be like, "Hey, listen, I wasn't there. I don't know about it. I've got Shane's back because Shane told me he didn't do anything. I believe him because I know him, blah, blah, blah." You know what I mean? I get getting your buddies back, but you don't sit there and get your buddies back and then you want to turn around and start trying to go after somebody for essentially the same thing. I mean, obviously, sexual assault is sexual assault. I mean, someone who goes after kids is definitely got a special place in hell.
Yeah.
But for someone especially who, Michael Jackson, I'm not going to get into any of this, that, and the other, but bottom line is I didn't appreciate some of the things that Judd Apatow was saying or how he's conducting himself towards Michael Jackson and his family. So I'll enjoy his movies, his past movies, but he's essentially lost me as a fan.
Yeah,
but I'm glad he's getting his art out there because I know there's a lot of people who are huge Apatow fans. So I'm glad.
I'm glad that Pete Davidson seems to be having a little bit of a resurgence after having some pretty troubling times there for a little bit, you know. Because I do think that he's a funny guy, and I think that he's probably got a good heart, and it's good to see that he's found himself like a support system that can help him out. So yeah, so the King of Staten Island as well as Scoob will be going straight to video on demand, skipping the theaters. We'll get Scoob on May the 15th, and then the King of Staten Island in early June.
And that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I think that'll work out just fine. You know, he's I don't know a whole bunch about Pete Davidson, but you know, he's a funny dude from what I'm understanding. I believe I've seen him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He made me laugh. So
yeah.
So hey, I think that's cool. I think that anyone that's able to really get their art out there to do their thing, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and as for the Apatow stuff, ultimately he's expressing his opinions, and we can agree or disagree with them. You know what I mean? But at least the dude hasn't raped anybody that we know of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I'm still pro Apatow more than pro Franco at this point.
Yeah, he's backing up his buddy, and I get that. It's just, you know, I don't dig the hypocrisy, but it's all good. I mean, hey,
yeah,
I enjoy his older films, and I leave it at that. I can put my personal feelings aside from my love for art.
Yeah, I am interested. Not to further derail us, but I'm interested in what the next phase of James Franco's career looks like. What does he try to do? Because that dude's pretty much disappeared.
Well, he ain't got no more acting school, I can tell you that.
Fair enough. I mean, and A24, that's his production company, right?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I mean, they're still doing a ton of stuff. He's just not doing anything.
He's way behind the scenes at this point. And I think that's probably the best way to go, because if it was a situation, and I wasn't there, I don't know.
Right.
But if it was a situation where sometimes, we as guys, we misconstrue things that are going on. I don't know the details of the situation. Sometimes we misconstrue things, and when the blood flow goes southern, we're too stupid to realize we're doing something dumb. Each of us in our own way have had our moments. So I'm glad that he's at least taken the road of staying out of the public eye. He's not trying to victim shame or anything.
Well, I've always thought that he was a thoughtful guy, and I always sort of assumed that eventually he would take the Aziz Ansari route and come out with some sort of thoughtful response and take ownership of it, if there's any validity to it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, if just because we haven't heard anything publicly doesn't mean he hasn't done something privately.
Right.
So I hope that for the young women that were victimized, I hope they're doing all right.
Yeah.
And I hope that he's learned what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate, and he can move on with his life in some way as well.
Yeah. And to be clear, the allegations levied against James Franco are disgusting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no quibble here over that at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Let's see. To lighten things up a bit, let's see. Where do we want to go next? How about America's father/grandfather continues to give as Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson's blood is being used in COVID-19 vaccine research.
That is all the more reason right there to get a COVID-19 vaccine, because you could be getting some of Tom Hanks's blood. I want some of Tom Hanks's blood.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah. I have like some issue with a story like this. Like, it is super cool that they're doing it because they obviously don't have to. But at the same time,
Rickman approves.
There are a ton of other regular ass people doing the same exact thing. So
right.
If you are one of those people giving your blood to help fight this thing, or your plasma or whatever, thank you. You're doing a great job. We just know more about them because they're in the limelight,
Yeah. And Tom Hanks was in a film where a butt was removed.
Yeah.
Hashtag save the butt.
Hashtag save the butt.
Mm-hmm. But in all seriousness,
I think it's free the butts.
Free the butts. Yeah, we got to make them free.
Everything is butts.
Butts. But
now,
I think it's cool that they're doing it though, because they were among the first American celebrities that came down with the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And what's kind of funny? They were in Australia, and I believe New Zealand has said that they have defeated the COVID-19 virus.
They say that they had 5 new cases yesterday, and they've got community spread under control and intense contact tracing, so they know where all of their cases are coming from.
Well, crikey, looks like we whooped their ass down under.
Yeah, that feels like a different country, but the sentiment is noted. Let's see.
Because Hugh Jackman is from there. He probably went on Wolverine on it.
Yeah. But it is cool that's happened. Their president down there has been on top of things.
Yeah. Well, I think that instead of never mind. Never mind. I almost did it. Not going to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of
stuff,
COVID-19 and maybe turning the corner, some movie theaters in Texas have been allowed to reopen, or they are going to be allowed to reopen soon.
Love that image. I hope he's not going to sit next to me.
With obviously they're going to have decreased, ticket sales and everything like that. They're going to basically have to cut the number of seats in half.
No, what I would like for them to do is make little private booths around the chairs.
That would be awesome.
So I can just sit in my little booth and I don't have to be bothered.
Yeah, and But this is in Texas, and the governor there is giving them the go ahead. But a lot of the big chains like AMC and Cinemark and those chains are saying that they're still going to wait, which is the smart thing. I don't think that it's time yet to reopen, but the fact that they're talking about reopening means that maybe we are starting to turn the corner on this thing.
Well, I mean, I want to look into what the COVID cases are in Georgia. I heard the COVID cases skyrocketed in Georgia, and they just reopened over the weekend.
Yeah, the COVID, Georgia's closing in on 30,000.
Yeah. Keep your asses at home.
Yes, please.
You know, I understand that human beings are social creatures by nature, and we want to get out and about. I get it. But you know what? I'd rather not be dead.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, this is a conversation that I mean that we have. I think you probably have had it too with like your mom, and I have it with my parents all the time. Like, yeah, like I would love to see you right now, but I would also love to see you for a number of years after this.
Yeah, I tell my mom, bag up your trash, put it on the front, on the porch, and then I will come and take it out. Yeah. I'm not coming inside.
Yeah, that's how that should go for now.
Mm-hmm.
Two more stories here, and then we will get into some mini reviews. Netflix has given us another interactive special, Brian. Have you done any of the interactive stuff?
I don't even know how.
Don't even know how.
I don't even know how to do any of that.
Did you ever watch Black Mirror?
No, but I want to.
You should.
I've never reached it on my queue yet.
I gotcha. Well, Black Mirror did an interactive episode called Bandersnatch, and it was about a computer programmer basically. But and so the episode became a computer program, and then we became God. But every so often, you would be given an opportunity to choose what the character in the show did.
Mm-hmm.
And you just use your remote to highlight the choice. It gives you like a limited amount of time to make the choice, and then that happens in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure book.
I love those.
Yeah, and so Netflix is giving us a Kimmy Schmidt movie that is going to be interactive, called Kimmy versus the Reverend.
Nice. This is the day after my birthday.
Excellent. So this is pretty exciting. I liked the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I haven't seen all of it, but what I saw, I did like.
Yeah, I think I watched like 2 episodes, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's funny. All the people involved with it. It's a Tina Fey comedy. Written and produced and everything.
I love Tina Fey.
Yeah, but I'll give this interactive film a shot because it does. I think it's a cool idea. They've done an interactive kids show as well, but I can't remember which of their shows it was.
Well, I hope it wasn't that god awful Fast and the Furious cartoon that
I can't imagine that it was. But they also did a Man versus Wild interactive special where you got to choose what's his name, Bear Grylls.
I guess
what Bear did in the show to try to survive, and you could have killed him. Like,
nice.
It was awesome. Yeah,
I was gonna say, is there a way to make the tiger go after Carol Baskin?
No, I don't think they've done an interactive Tiger King episode.
Oh, but they should.
Yeah, they should. They should do. They should just do a Tiger King video game where you're the tiger.
Oh yeah, I'd be going after all of them. Like the first, like you work your way up until you get to the final level, and now you get to go after Joe Exotic.
What if it was like a Thundercats Tiger King crossover?
Mind blown. Now the Thundercats theme is going on in my head. I wonder if Thundercats is going to make its way onto HBO Max, because if so, that would be brilliant.
That would be excellent. Yeah, for sure. And finally, I think this is awesome news, and I'm incredibly excited about it, Brian. That is that the cast of Parks and Rec is reuniting this week for a new episode.
Oh, nice. Parks and Rec is also on my list. Once I finish Community, I'm going to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, Parks and Recreation is a great series, and they are the original cast is all getting together via Zoom in character.
Nice.
To do a during the quarantine episode. Like, this is what would happen if Parks and Rec were on the air during the quarantine.
That is
and
awesome.
Leslie Knope, the main character, wanted to get in touch with all of her friends.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so that is this Thursday, I believe, is when it airs. And I am incredibly excited.
Wakanda forever, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess. I didn't really think that celebration up.
So cool. Awesome celebration. But yeah, I'm super excited about Parks and Rec. Love that show. When you do get around to watching it, you will note the intense Office influence immediately.
Fair enough, because I did some watching of another show that you suggested to me. I've been watching Community a lot, but I've also been watching The League, and I'm starting to really hate these people because they're so mean to Andre.
They're awful, yeah.
But then Andre brings it on himself so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I just saw where Andre lost his fiance because first she's allergic to him.
Yes.
And then they hold the draft, even though he tried to tell them not to. They hold the draft. She finds out. Then she's flipping out. And then she tries to dab her eyes with the tissue and has another allergic reaction. And she dumps him. It's like, if these were my friends, I would murder them.
One of my favorite recurring bits on that show is when Andre will start saying something that's like questionable, but he doesn't hear.
He doesn't hear, like, my man cave.
Right.
Come in the back door of my man cave.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man cave is just all hardwood. And they're like, how many people can you fit in your man cave? He's like, oh, I could get like 5 or 6 dudes in there. Like
he just doesn't get it.
Right. That show is pretty good. But I do think, and you're probably starting to see this because you're starting to get toward the end of it, that the latter seasons of it started to wane a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to get to a point where it's like the cruelty it's gone way past friends just
right.
Busting
because
shots.
That's what happens. Cruel. You have to continue to dial it up, and yeah, so
yeah. So I think that's why I'm starting to slowly take my foot off the gas.
Yeah, it is. The first several seasons of it are so funny, but it does start to get a little out of hand.
Yeah. Oh man.
And I'm sorry. You on Community now?
Season 4, Abed is starting to feel some kind of way because it's in their senior year. I wasn't aware that community college had senior year.
Yeah, well, a JC, I guess a junior college would typically only have 2 years.
Yeah, they're only supposed to. Yeah, you're only supposed to do them for 2 years, and then you're supposed to move on to real college. Well, I don't want to say real college, but you're
in
supposed
Georgia, the 2-year schools there could develop 4-year programs. So depending on what you were studying, you could go for 4 years there. Yeah,
I think it's like that in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah,
but with most of them though, you do your 2 years, so essentially you get an associate's degree.
Yeah. Have you gotten to the Darkest Timeline episode, like where they have the pizza party?
Yeah, I saw that episode. It was so great.
It's so good.
It is that show is so witty and well thought out.
Yeah, it's wild how smart that show is for comedy. And it's crazy to me that it lasted as long as it did.
Oh yeah.
It was always on the bubble. It was always ready to get cut.
That's what sucks about a lot of shows.
Like Arrested Development.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is Sharon and I are watching the Arrowverse, and we're to the point where in Legends of Tomorrow, the character Firestorm has left the crew. So then they brought John Constantine on. And I was like, ooh, Constantine! And Sharon's like, why are you so excited for Constantine? And then I had to explain it to her. She goes, oh, so he's always on the bubble. I'm like, you're starting to learn the jargon, baby. I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
So I think that it's time to slice off a couple of real quick.
Mm-hmm. The Plotaholics, many reviews on the floor, and I'm dancing like I never before. You ain't catching me again, bitch.
I got you one good time though.
You did get me real good. I'm like,
I have to like every time it's a little bit of a game because I have to wait long enough for you to get into it, but I can't wait so long that it's over. You know, like
Yeah,
it's like a
you have to
really
find the sweet spot for the
that's
man
right.
cave.
Yeah. So we have time probably for one mini review each. Brian, what do you want to do?
All right, so well, which one? Do you want the serious one or do you want the comedy?
I want whatever you want to talk about, man.
All right, so I watched 2 movies in the last couple of days, and
if you can do them quick, you can do them both.
Yeah, I could probably get them done. I can get both of them done in 5 minutes. So, the new film Extraction that's on Netflix, starring Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth. This is now I've seen some people refer to this movie as John Wick and it's nothing like John Wick. This is your typical I am a mercenary and I need this one big score. Basically, a Indian drug lord, and I mean India as in from India, who's in prison. His son is kidnapped by a Bangladeshi drug lord who is also his chief rival. And Chris Hemsworth and his team are hired to get the kid back. Hemsworth goes into Bangladesh and all shit breaks loose. This isn't a bad film. I was saying on Twitter throughout the weekend that I'm really looking for Chris Hemsworth to start doing some movies that are decent that aren't an MCU film. And this is a good start. I enjoyed this movie. The fight choreo punches. Yeah. I did laugh my ass off though when Chris Hemsworth beats the shit out of little kids. There was a scene where he beat the shit out of little kids. So
did you have you noticed yet in your community watching that the Russos are heavily involved?
Yes, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing their style in the comedy aspect, and I saw their style in this as well. This is a much darker route for them, even with some of the darkness of Infinity War and Endgame. This is a lot darker. And so check it out. I would actually give this movie about a 2-shot rating just for the fact that Netflix, they're doing a good job. It's a lot better than some of the other films that they've put out that are Netflix originals. They're doing a lot better. You know, they're not there yet, but they're very, very close. And this is a very, very good action movie. It's better than that Ben Affleck action flick that came out last year.
Oh, and, yeah, I guess that did come out, didn't it?
Yeah, with Charlie Hunnam. And it was that one wasn't too bad either, but this one is way better.
Yeah.
I also watched today The Art of Self-Defense, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Imogen Potts, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I know I marked out at you that Pollux Troy was in this movie.
That's right.
This is a film where a young man named Casey, played by Jesse Eisenberg, is mugged on the way home from getting dog food. And he's actually is in intensive care. He was beaten almost to death. You find out in the news reports off screen that there's actually been a rash of violent muggings. So first he's planning on getting a gun, and then he decides that he's going to take karate.
Yeah.
So he joins this dojo led by Sensei, played by Pollux Troy, and he starts to do relatively well at it. And then things just start to get darker and darker and darker. This movie is hilarious where it needs to be hilarious. Even the dialogue in and of itself is hilarious.
Yeah.
In its simplicity. As a martial artist myself, I was actually very happy to sort of see how my belt ranking system was represented. I didn't really like the dark side of the dojo, as it seems, but it was kind of fun. This is actually a movie. I found nothing that would make me hate this movie. I'll give it a solid 1-shot rating.
All right.
Eisenberg is awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to see this movie. I told you this earlier when you said you were watching it. I've wanted to watch it for a long time. It's on Hulu, right?
Yes, it is on Hulu. Only reason why I didn't watch it sooner is because I didn't know what it's called. Because in the trailer on Hulu, they don't tell you the name of it. They just show you some scenes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this soon, I think.
Yeah.
I last night actually watched the new Netflix original animated film, The Willoughbys.
Oh.
Based on the children's book by Lois Lowry, and it is a charming.
So the kids want to kill their parents because their parents don't love them.
Well, the kids want to get rid of their parents. They never really say kill them.
Gotcha.
And then there's the parents hire a nanny whenever. So the kids invent a travel agency to send their parents to an unclimbable mountain so that they'll die. And so when the parents leave, and they make sure on the brochure for the fake travel agency to say that there are no kids allowed, right? And so the parents are pumped because they're like, we don't even want to take our kids anyway. We don't like them.
Wow.
The kids, in fact, it's so like whenever they get punished, they put the kids in the coal pit. And the kids get to eat tonight. They get to eat yesterday's leftovers. And if there are no leftovers yesterday, then they have to go hungry tonight. It's rough, man. And so the parents hire a nanny, and the nanny is obviously like this really good spirited person, and it kind of goes on from there. Brian, I also this weekend did something that that surprised me. I told you a few weeks ago that I had discovered Fortnite and had gotten kind of into it, And so this weekend, Fortnite had one of its big events, and that I'd never really participated in any of these. I've read about some of them, but I was like, well, let's check this thing out. And so they had teamed up with the rapper Travis Scott for essentially a virtual concert. And what's so cool about it is, so you have to sort of check in about a half hour early to make sure you get a spot. And then you drop into the island, and there's a stage there that they've built in the game. And everybody, you get 100 folks in the game, and they all kind of hang out at the stage, and you think, okay, cool, this is awesome, right? And there's a screen on the stage, and you think they're just going to play the show on the screen.
Right.
But then this thing flies out of the sky and blows the whole world apart. And now you're like flying through the sky, and there's a like 30-foot tall Travis Scott rapping at you. And the graphics were unreal.
That is cool.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you should look it up on YouTube. I'm sure that there's somebody over there that has it. But I give that experience a 0 shot because we watched it twice actually, and it was only at certain times. Like it was at 6 p.m. Eastern. We were there at 5:30 just to see what it was, and we were like, "This is going to be lame, whatever." And then we were both like, "What is happening? This is so awesome!"
That is cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. And they had special emotes in there, so like you were at a concert, like you could like raise a mic stand over your head and it was on fire, and you could like head bob and everything. It was
wild,
cool, man.
I started playing. Oh, that is awesome. I'm definitely want to look that up. I started playing No Man's Sky.
Yeah, right.
Finally, and I love it. Like I'm playing it a lot. I am having so much fun exploring and like gathering stuff. I actually have I have 2 bases. One I named
a lot of oxygen, because that was the hardest thing for me to find.
I'm finding them okay. I'm finding it. My life support's doing pretty decent.
But then again, remember that I was the hard ass that tried to do it on medium.
Yeah, that's true. That's your problem right there. I'm playing just the regular old chill stuff. But I named my one settlement New Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I named the other one. I think I named it Dunder Mifflin 1.
Nice.
And then I have one ship I named the Jessica Jones.
Love it.
And I found this other ship that I claimed, but I don't have the resources to repair it. I named it the Luke Cage.
Nice. I like it.
Well,
we are up against it, Mr. Tan.
All right. Yeah,
everybody out there, if you're still with us, thanks for hanging out for the hour. And be sure to check out our latest podcast on dodgeball.
Yeah, that was a very interesting episode.
Yeah, and be sure to like, subscribe, share, etc., etc. And we will be back here again next Tuesday night for more Plotaholics Live.
Yeah, but we are coming up on next month is going to be our season finale. So get in on this while you can.
Taking the summer off.
Yes, we will. So like, share, subscribe, and stay with us weekly, man, because we're coming up with more crap.
That's right. # free the butts.
We're
the Plotaholics.